Hey guys, it's Tom here from Crypto Life Inc. again. So today we're going to talk about ONT, so that's Ontology, and we're going to have a quick look at to what the project actually is, and then we're also going to have a look at the price action. So a lot of people have noticed that's been going to the moon, it's been mooning, it went from $1 all the way up to $4. So we're going to take a look at a TA point of view as to where the price action is likely to go moving forward, and we're also just going to take a general update on the ONT project. So tune in for that, guys, and if you want more of these updates, subscribe as well, and I keep pushing this content out for you guys. Peace. Alrighty guys, so let's talk about Ontology today. So now Ontology is a little bit confusing. It's one of those projects that I really read up on, and then after 1 or 2 days someone asked me what it is, and I go, well look, it's something to do with blockchains and businesses. And that's pretty much as I can get out. So I got my notepad with me today, so we're going to make sure we don't miss anything. So let's just get right into it. So let's just start with the basics of where Ontology came from. So we got their website here, you can have a look. But basically, to summarize really quickly, Ontology is a project based from on-chain, and on-chain is also the parent company of Neo. So it's Da Hongfei, the founder of Neo, and then it's a parent company of Neo. So there's a connection there between Neo and Ontology already, so you can read up on that when you do your own research as well. And what they're actually looking to do, the fundamental problem they're trying to solve, is to develop blockchain solutions for businesses, and that can be private businesses or government organizations as well. So they want to help build the infrastructure, and you can see here they've got some little nice icons about infrastructure. And there's 3 mini problems in this big problem that they're trying to solve. So they notice there's no easy way to use the blockchain technology, which is quite obvious actually, because how do you integrate, say, a hospital into blockchain, right? Right now, off the top of my head, I can't really think of the specific steps, and hopefully that's what Ontology is able to solve. The second issue is there's a lack of trust. So that also affects the first issue, obviously. It's not easy if you can't trust people. And then the third mini problem is it's too open source. So they've come up with this mini tagline, and I guess you can just describe Ontology in 3 words, which is trust, identity, and attestation. So that's at the center of what Ontology is all about. And if you wanted to describe it in 1 sentence, I'm just trying to summarize it for you guys because I always find it hard. But basically, Ontology is a business. A business needs a bridge, and Ontology acts as a plug and play for that business to access the blockchain. So that's what it is. It's kind of like, okay, here's Ontology, here's a business, let's integrate, boom, Ontology, there you go. So that you can integrate examples such as like hospitals or government organizations or just your own private businesses. So that's all the stuff that you can do, and it's going to facilitate public and private blockchain implementation as well. So that is a brief summary of Ontology without getting into too much technical or fundamental analysis of their white paper or anything like that. Let's have a quick scroll through. I can finally put my notebook aside until we get to the layers, which is going to confuse us all. But I should be able to break it down for you guys pretty simply. So let's have a look at the website here. So what is Ontology? It's a high-performance public blockchain project. Great, don't we love high performance, right? Yep, so it's going to help with the underlying infrastructure for different kinds of distributed scenarios. It's going to help with digital identity, data exchange protocol, and that's just a few there. So you can see it's infrastructure, so ONT blockchains, ONT blockchain framework, ONT interaction protocols. Okay, you got ID, data, scores. So again, this is most likely impacting on the identity aspect of it as well as the trust. Common applications, ONT. Okay, I'll let you guys read this in more detail. Ontology scenarios. Yeah, so this is their basic website. So you can, I'll leave the link in the description. You guys can do a little bit more research. Have a look at their team. Yeah, they got their team here. And you can do a bit more research on on-chain as well to see what the connection is between Ontology and Neo. So let's jump over to their white paper, right? I'm not going to go through, look, they've got like, what, how many bloody white papers do you need? You got 3 white papers and, okay, 4 white papers and 1 yellow paper, right? We're not going to read all this. You guys can have a look if you want. You can find this just in the document section of their website. Basically, I just want to show you this graph. Well, this, it's not a graph, I guess it's a little infographic. And it's just going to tell you about the layout of ontology. So at least when you think ontology, you can think about, you know, how it's structured and how it actually is going to integrate organizations and also its own private and public blockchains. So this is basically the structure of how the infrastructure of the ontology network, and they're basically dumbed down to 3 layers. So let's just have a look. So here, you know, they're just describing some scenarios, but here is the first layer here. So we've got people, wealth, things, and organization. So the first layer is just set up to verify these particular individuals and organizations. So this is helping with the identity aspect, of course. Yeah. And yeah, so this is all about the verification process. Then you have the second layer, and the second layer is about verifying applications and linking them together. So you have a whole bunch of applications, and you want to make sure that, you know, they're all working well and they can all be linked together. So that is making sure the structure of all the applications is intact. And then you have the third aspect. Sorry, I'm just reading off this. My writing's so messy. Linking. What have I written here? Linking different protocol networks. So obvious. It's written right here. Yeah. So it's linking different protocol networks within the blockchain here. So this is what that is doing. So that's the 3 layers that you have to basically keep in mind. And then you have a little bit of a summary here. You've got, okay, this is how this part works. So you got the cross-chain entity mapping, cross-chain data transfer. So obviously, if you read this whole white paper, you'll get a better understanding of this graph. But basically, you just need to know there's 3 layers. The first layer is for verification of the people who are involved in this network. Second is for the applications, and the third is for the protocols that are within it. So that is a brief rundown of how ontology works. So you can understand why I say it's a little bit complicated, because I mean, I didn't read all the 5 white papers, and you can understand why I just don't have time. But you know, I'll leave this in the description. You guys, if you have time, do read it. I'm already bullish on this particular project because I like the infrastructure play that it brings. You know, that's why I bought into it. So let's get more into that without getting too deep into the reasons why I'm investing in stuff. Okay, here, so okay, now we've jumped a few steps. Let's go back into the price action. So we saw ontology go up 500%. So that is a huge gain. So what actually happened was, you might recall that a lot of people got free ontology because they were being airdropped to Neo holders. So I had my ontology on Neo, and basically for every 1 Neo that you have, you get 0.1 ontology. So I got some free ontology tokens there, and you know, I realized quite early on, because I just always check my Binance. I had it on Binance. They participated in the airdrop, and I just said, oh, you know, let's just check how much I got. So I had a look. I think it was around $1.30, and then I just said, you know, I've been trading a bit, I've got some profits. I had a brief understanding of the project. Obviously, I didn't read the 5 white papers. Guilty, what can I say? Yeah, so I invested a little bit. I bought a few at around the $1.30 mark. I'm not going to try and find it, but somewhere around here. And then we just had this huge explosion, just went bang. I think the first time I saw it was like $2.50, and I just sold a bunch and picked up a bit more at $2 because I was like, well, look, that's already mooned. How high can it go? And I've been doing that ever since. I did miss out on this last leg, but thank God I hodled at least half my position of ontology, so I did get to pick up some profits just from that position. And now we've got looks like we're going a bit sideways here, but we'll have a look at the chart to verify that. So we went all the way up to $5.08. So that's that's an easy 500% gain. And the important thing to note, was Bitcoin was struggling here at around the I think high $6,000, low $7,000 mark. So everything else was crashing. People were calling everything else a bear market. Ontology was doing like 50% in one day, and I think made a brief a blog on Steemit about that as well, a blog post. But yeah, Ontology was just going crazy, and I just couldn't help myself taking some profits there during this bear trend that we saw, where all the other coins were just taking a dive. So let's just jump into the charts and have a brief TA analysis of the chart. So you can see it's pretty early. Ontology came out. I'm assuming this is when it was listed on Binance, since this is the Binance chart, on the 8th of March. So 8th of March, you can ignore this huge candlestick wick here. That's that's very normal for things that just start off. So I don't think it actually went up that high. It's just just the way they picture it on the charts. Anyway, so we had an initial drop as per usual. You always have a drop when, well, you don't always, but you do quite commonly have a drop when coins are listed on Binance. In this case, why not? Because a whole bunch of people got their ONT for free, and they just went, oh, it's free coins, just sell it for money, right? So that's probably what happened. That's also what happened to the NEO price, because everyone bought a whole bunch of NEO, and then it dropped substantially from $140 all the way down to, right now it's like $50. But I think it dropped down to $100, and then we had the bear trend, which didn't help with the price action for NEO either. So yep, so it went down, and then we had this little move here. So this is probably where it was around $1. This is comparing to the BTC chart. They don't have a USD chart, so we can only compare it to Bitcoin's price at the moment. But you can see the mad gains that it's had compared to Bitcoin. So from, let's say, 1,400 Satoshis all the way up to the, where do we go, like 7,000 Satoshi mark there. So that is a huge amount of gains compared to Bitcoin, and you can see, strength of it. So we've done very well, and we've used this, currently using this, what is this, the 12-day exponential moving average as support. So we actually are finally getting the consolidation I was looking for. Obviously, I sold a little bit too early, but I still hodled a bit. So I did get this last leg in. So it's interesting to see how far this actually pulls back. So right now, we did have our first initial bounce off the 12-day EMAs, but I would not be surprised if it goes past. Obviously, with this chart, it's super brand new. We only have a month's worth of data, so it's going to be too hard to tell from a technical analysis point of view. But just from experience of something going up this high, it's much more likely to pull back. I would imagine if it bounced off here, it's still perfectly fine. But I would imagine anything even up to this 26-day moving average is still perfectly fine consolidation, considering this 500% move that we saw for ONT. So if we move down to the smaller time frames, we can have a more closer look at it. And we're still looking quite bullish for it. So here we just want to see if the trends are intact. So what I'm talking about is a 4-hour higher highs and higher lows. So okay, so I think it was more clear on the daily actually. Let's see. Well, on the daily, we have not broken this trend. So we have a higher low. I guess you can call that a high low. It's not really strong support because it was very brief. But I guess you would say it was here. And we haven't broken this trend upwards yet. So if we go below this point, then it looks like a more severe consolidation is coming. But if we actually end up closing this above that, then we're still intact with our uptrend. Doesn't mean we might get an all-time high again, just means at least we're going to go a little bit up before we go back down again, in my opinion anyway. Just because we've seen such a high rise. I mean, people are calling Ontology going up, $20, $30. At this point, just, you got to be wary that we were a little bit oversold. We cooled back down again, but I think it needs to stick around in this area for a bit before it tries to go back up again. That's just my opinion. Again, I'm always watching the charts. If that doesn't play out, then if it goes up, at least I'll be looking to sell because I already have the positions that I want. If it goes back down again, probably pick up a few more Ontology tokens. So if we look at the 1 hour chart, you can see it is actually tightening up a bit there. So that's something to watch out for. It's not an equilibrium pattern because we're getting lower lows here. But yeah, I think I would stick with my initial analysis on the daily chart and the 4 hour chart because it is just a little bit too hard to tell at the moment. But just from this daily chart, I think the pullback isn't quite done yet. And that is pretty much my brief analysis on Ontology. So hopefully you guys have... Actually, one more thing before we go. So Ontology, people were saying, why is it mooning so hard, right? So 500% moves 50% one day, and I picked up this article here at Crypto Briefing, and there was a lot of speculation, and I think this was partly the reason why Ontology's price went up so high. So the price rise coincides with the speculation that Ontology might be working at interoperability with 4 cryptocurrencies. And if you guys weren't aware, at least 3 of these I know. One of the top, they're the top interoperability blockchains that are coming out. So you got Icon, they're about interoperability. Aion, Kyber Network, I'm not too familiar with, but you can do your own research there. And then OneChain, which is something I'm pretty bullish on. And they're all about intrachain, cross-chain. So these are all about helping the infrastructure of blockchain, in my opinion. And it's about building on top of it and allowing blockchains, whether they're public or private, to communicate between each other, which I think is very important if we want to see blockchain just in general, operating well and functioning well in the future. So that's why I'm pretty bullish on ONT, and you can see that a lot of other people are as well. Whether these rumors are true or not, I haven't been able to confirm them, so you'll have to do your own research there and see what comes to light. So hopefully you guys, had a better understanding of Ontology from this video. Just remember, the catchphrase that they have, which is trust, identity, and attestation. Exactly in that order, apparently. So I got it right, finally remembered it, and then you got the 3 layers. So you got the verification layer of everyone who's in that community or the network, then you have the applications layer, and then you have the protocols layer. So that's what Ontology is in a nutshell. Do keep watching the price action. I'm still pretty bullish on it, and it could easily go, keep going up, because it seems like it doesn't really care about what Bitcoin's price is doing. Ontology just keeps wanting to go up. So that's my analysis of the project of Ontology. Hopefully you guys like the video. Feel free to like and subscribe if you want to get more of these notifications and updates. And I've got that free Facebook chat, so if you want to have a chat with me or anyone in our community, just jump on and hit the link there. I'll leave it in the description on the YouTube channel, so it's easy for you guys to find. So tune in next time, guys. Tom from Crypto Life Inc. Have a good one.